play and call it work.
Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Sit and Talk, the weekly show where we sit down and answer questions that you guys leave on the previous Sit and Talk. Last week was Chris, next week will be Matthew. So you want to leave questions for Matthew, leave them on this video on the MiniWarGaming.com website. It's just easier for us to track the comments and print them off from the website than it is from YouTube. So just post your comments there for Matthew for next week. And you want to respond to anything I have to say, just post there as well and I will catch it. So basically I'm going to sit here for about 30 minutes or so and answer your questions, and then I'm going to go in the vault and do another 30 minutes. If there's enough questions, I have not had a chance to look ahead and see the questions. I have no idea what's coming whatsoever. Luke is just off screen. He's here to badger and berate.
Hey, Vault members.
Hey, Vault members. No, we're on YouTube still.
You know, but I just want to say, hey, guys.
So number one question is from Data Wargaming. 20 likes, thumbs up for Steve to challenge everyone at MiniWarGaming to climb the mountain. No. Luca would just kind of punch me, knock me to the ground, and stand on. Did you get that question?
Yeah, climb the mountain. Has anyone done it?
Grey Army Gaming at Steve. Love the work you do at MiniWarGaming and on your Mountain Miniatures Gaming side project. My question regards the relation between these two. Hi, Rob. Good question? You can interrupt. It's okay. Yeah, we're recording.
I didn't know you were recording.
I can't see it. There you go. There's Rob's fingers.
You can go ahead. Press. I pinch your face. Pinch.
This is what happens when you're sitting talking in your office. What do you need?
Preview was done.
Oh, I forgot about that. I will be with you in about an hour. Continue on. Seeing that you often... You know what? Yeah, I'll help him in an hour. Seeing that you often use the MiniWarGaming space when you film your own Mountain Miniatures Gaming content, I'm assuming that Matt and Dave are not totally opposed to your side project. Yeah, obviously. I mean, if they were opposed and they've seen that 100% of my battle reports were filmed in the MiniWarGaming studio, at some point they would have said something. But no, we had a conversation before I ever even started. It was actually Dave's idea to let me use the studios. I wasn't even intending to. And he's like, both of them are just so super generous about letting me use the MiniWarGaming studios, terrain, models, everything. They've been absolutely spectacular about me doing my own thing. I see, however, there are three possible responses that they could have had when you pitched the idea of Mountain Miniatures Gaming: enthusiastic embrace of it, indifferent, not super enthused. No, they were okay. Whatever helps the community helps MiniWarGaming, right? So as long as people are watching battle reports, they're probably gonna find miniature wargaming, and maybe I find somebody that hasn't found MiniWarGaming. Highly doubtful. I'm basically riding their coattails and I know it. Right, Luca? Thanks.
Wait, did you say all right or right?
Right, Luca?
Right.
Yeah.
They said all right. They were like, all right, Luca, here's a question.
Oh, no. So yeah, clearly I'm getting way more benefit than they are, but they've both been super supportive and great, just absolutely spectacular about it. Which one of these best describes oh, okay, yeah, so they're just super supportive, and like, oh, the angle's really low, you can't see my eyes. There's some rowdiness happening out there. Yeah, so yeah, anyway, super supportive, great guys. Love working here. That actually, when I first made the channel, I had so many comments and emails about my leaving MiniWarGaming. I had to make a video about me not leaving MiniWarGaming, letting them know like I'm not leaving. That video is actually funnier than I intended it to be, so it's worth checking out that video alone. That's Steve from AshPole81. I'm enjoying the content on your site. Thank you, on my side channel. Hi, Chris, or Quirk.
Wow. I don't know if I'm insulted, honored, or just...
Be honored. Again, do just sit and talk in the middle of the day in your office, you're gonna get people walking in like crazy. So now I'm not going to answer any questions because you threw a fidget cube at me, and I'm going to sit here and... What? I'll just put this down. I'm so interrupted today, guys. I'm so sorry. Rereading that question. I lost my spot. I'm enjoying the content on your side channel. Very fun to watch, listen to, and like seeing Chris play some games. Yes, that was one of the main reasons why the channel was created. So...
So Chris could play games?
Well, in a roundabout way. But here's the thing: people are they request games a lot, and after you've played a bunch of games, like Luke and I, we've been playing for like a year together. We became great friends. We do a bunch of stuff on the side. But people come in, you get good friends with them, and they want more and more games, and you like playing against them. And every time somebody asks for a game, you're like, okay, I can't fit you in the schedule. We're getting busier and busier, and we try our best to fit them in. So we end up playing just ourselves, and it feels like a waste ever playing a game for me off camera. So I bought my own camera, recorded it, and put it up on my own channel. So at least I get a couple of YouTube dollars. But that's pretty much it. It's just about getting in the games that I'm going to play anyway, and just recording them. It's all it is. So yeah, it gets Chris in the games more. Chris is a lot of fun to play against, so which is always a good thing. Draw here. I'm gonna go with your name is Drakir 1085. Hey Steve, what army/armies, any system, do you hate playing against? Is one just that, the one that just makes you say, oh boy, these guys, this will be fun, while secretly seething? For me, it's the Thousand Suns 40K, 30K or 40K. So yeah, I get your thoughts on the Thousand Suns in 30K when Magnus does his, I'm gonna explode everybody with my mind. You can just ask me, bro. I can get it for you.
It's okay.
Magnus is if you're going to play against him and you're going to play a goofy scenario, he's fun. But I mean, in a general everyday game, he's not fun to play against every time. But I've never met a Thousand Sun player who brought Magnus in every game. So it's not like because 30K players in general tend to be more narrative or story driven. You don't have to worry about it. You can make noise. It's okay. Lucas literally just off camera trying to be so polite, he's rummaging through my desk. There's Zed. You can see your head now. Is there an army I hate playing against for any system? Oh yeah, ogres and fantasy. That's
Really?
it.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never minded.
Never mind ogres.
Nope.
It's like, don't get me wrong, they're not unbeatable. They are not unbeatable, but they are a tacticless army that just runs forward. And
You think you'd be able to beat that, right?
no, and the thing is, you totally can. You absolutely can.
Hard.
It's hard, but it's not that it's so game breaking. Now I got Josh at the doorway taking off his shirt. They're not unbeatable, but they don't play like the way I want to play fantasy, where you want to outmaneuver each other and play around. They're still a fun army. They're great to paint. I love painting Nashi ogres, but it's a different type of fantasy game in 8th edition. It's a different type of fantasy game for me than playing against any other army. But I mean, honestly, playing against
Jan?
Jan just be bad.
Yeah.
No, playing against like a dwarf castle, nothing but organ guns, cannons, and thunderers hiding in a corner. That can be unfun.
I'll agree with that. I do not like the double rune spell breaking castle.
But again, I don't know. There's no one army in general. I give ogres more of a hard time because of Josh as well. Yeah, so it's more Josh than the ogres. Just keep that in mind. There's one more question from Ashpaul. I missed the second part of his question. What is the most outrageous thing you've witnessed Quirk do for $20? I can honestly say, I cannot tell you, it's a family-friendly show.
It's fair.
But if you ever come in for a battle report, if you ever come in, ask to see the video. We record everything. Cell phone footage. I'm not going to say your name because it's one of those third grade names. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'll just say your name slowly with 2 syllables. His name is Mac Hawk. That was Quirk throwing something at me. What is your origin story? What were you doing before MiniWarGaming? And how did you end up working for MiniWarGaming? And also, what's your top MiniWarGaming moment? And I mean, MWG. Okay. So I used to work construction. I think I started here like 4 years ago. In a roundabout way, I found MiniWarGaming really weirdly. I live in Niagara Falls, not Welland. Niagara Falls is about 15 minutes to the
East.
More east of northeast, but of Welland. So I don't live that far away from the MiniWarGaming studios. And I was watching some videos one day, I heard Matthew, I think it was a sit and talk, because the sit and talk was one of the videos I've watched every week. I found it very interesting. Even after I worked here, it was one of the videos I watched still regularly. Matthew said something about Welland at one point. I'm like, oh, cool, there must be a Welland somewhere else in the world. It's weird. And then like a few months later, he's like, Welland, Ontario. He said Welland, Ontario for something. I'm like, Welland, Ontario? No way. And I looked him up and I'm like, oh God, you guys are like 15. You guys are literally 5 minutes from the hospital I was born in. Like you're 15 minutes away from my house. Which is also kind of weird because then all of a sudden, because when I watched videos, I watched fantasy. You know, Owen from Gaming with the Cooler used to cover fantasy for MiniWarGaming, and he always looked familiar to me. I couldn't quite place it. But thinking this is some weird internet company from, you know, wherever, like he can't really look familiar to me, but it did because I knew him when he was like 7. So I messaged him like, hey buddy, remember me, whatever, I'll come in for some fantasy. And I started playing some fantasy games with him. I played a bunch, and then I ended up on the MiniWarGaming local players list with a bunch of emails, and Matthew wanted to do a campaign, the first one ever, and he emailed everybody on the list that was local, and to see who would come in for a campaign. Now, when I got the email, I didn't realize it was a mass send email. It just said, hey, would you get a time to come in for a campaign or whatever? And I have this policy of trying to reply to every email, and if you ever send me an email I haven't replied to you, I apologize because I'm also really bad at it. So I replied to Matthew with like, nah man, I'm really kind of busy. But I mean, if you really need it, I can do it, I guess. It was like a really polite email. I didn't quite get it was a mass response one, and he never responded back to me. Obviously with my poor response to him. But there was actually such a low turnout, hi Chris, low response rate to those emails because it would take a lot of time. He did respond to me like a month or something later and said, yeah, we'll do Necrons, because he originally didn't want to do Necrons. I was a Necron player back then against Tyranids. And I also had the time because working construction in Southern Ontario, you're off for about anywhere from 3 to 6 months out of the year. So I had time off in the winter just to come in Monday to Friday every day. It didn't impact my work at all. So I came in, did the campaign, and then like a few weeks after the campaign ended, they offered me a job. To which I said, no thank you, sir. I do not want your job. That's very kind. Because I'm thinking, like, I got a mortgage, I got a house, I'm working this, you know, steady job for years. How could you possibly make money playing miniatures all day? And basically living the dream. It just felt too good to be true. I talked to my girlfriend at the time, and we discussed it, and I gave it a shot, and I do not regret the decision. I left my job, came here, and it's been absolutely amazing ever since. And that's basically my story of MiniWarGaming. I can give you Lucas' story too. He came in for fantasy for like every Wednesday for a year.
Yeah.
And then they gave him a job.
18 months of volunteering.
18 months of volunteering.
Don't make it sound like work. I did it out of fun, and then they kind of just randomly offered me. I was out to look for a job at the time, and I was going to use Steve as a reference because I wanted more than so many. And then Steve's like, yeah, but we're hiring all this.
I'll give you a reference.
He's like, that's awkward. All right.
The Swoo says, Steve, can you tell Chris I'm sorry? I forgot to ask him a question. I feel bad now. Hey, the Swoo says he's sorry for missing a question.
He might be outside.
Might be outside. His office is right. See this hole right here? That leads to Chris's office. That's how we communicate. We talk through that. He's got to lean in and yell and hear everything. It's our echo chamber. Plastic Monkey says, Steve, do you think MiniWarGaming will change with the setup? For guests, currently I believe you can choose requests who to play against and pop in for a game if staff member is free. That's actually not how it currently exists, no. Currently, you request if you want to come in for a game. We'll see where we're open in the schedule. We book you in, and we will pair you up with somebody if you request a certain person, if possible. But usually, it's a lot harder to get the exact person you want. But we try our best to accommodate. But it's actually a business, it's a job. It's just we can't accommodate everybody perfectly. But we try our best. B, for the employees, you seem to have fairly flexible workspace, so you can paint when you want or play when you want, as long as you want, and you meet the deadlines and requirements, etc. That is, again, also not true. It's a little more idealized version of our job. We film a lot. We do paint a lot, but we do have a schedule to maintain and a like, for example, Josh, you there?
Yeah.
How far ahead we booked up?
For what system?
And 40K.
Yeah.
6
months at least.
6 months. So if you want to come in for 40K, we're booked up for 6 months. I mean, we have cancellations and openings here and there, but that's 6 months in advance that we have the schedule already kind of locked in.
Yeah, we know we're playing a 40K on Thursday.
Right. So it's not like we just, yeah, exactly. We know we're playing 40K on Thursday, but it does change periodically from time to time. But no, it's not like we film what we want when we want and paint what we want when we want. It's a lot more, I wouldn't say strict, but organized, structured than most people realize. I don't know what that word is you're trying to say. You seem to goof around and practical jokes a lot, and the staff seem to be friends. Yeah, we spend the summer months, no, not the summer months, the reasonable weather months, we spend far too much time together because 5 o'clock hits and we all head over to a tavern up the road and sit on the patio until it gets either too hot or too cold. And then in the winter for a few months we see less of each other, but that's because we only see each other like 40 hours a week. Or we play games with each other at night on the computer. Yeah, we spend a lot of time together. It's a great group of guys, especially me. Right, Luca?
Right. That time it was right. I heard right.
That one you got it.
I thought it was already in. I paused.
Do you see it becoming a bit more corporate or restricted? No. Especially with your customers staying in the building. No, I don't think so. If you ever came in for a battle report, you'd understand. You hang out with us. You're more than welcome to hang out with us and do the things that we do. We do goof around a lot. We do play around a lot. It's not very... no, I'm not worried about that at all. Fine. Actually, to be honest with you, we probably could use a little more strictness. Maybe we should goof around less. But no, nothing like that's going to happen. It's all going to be fun still. The store being in the same building, will you spend all of your money on models and games? Yeah. Every week when I get my paycheck, it might not be a paycheck, it might be a bill. And happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you. These are devaluing my actual birthday, which is coming up. Rodesk, well, we got time. Looks like there's a lot of new dice at MiniWarGaming. In recent reports, I've seen the mountain dice and the beard dice. Are there any others? What are all the special dice and guys? What are all the special dice that guys have now? Who comes up with the designs? I think Chris comes up with the designs because he's the most creative, or he's just, doodling stuff. Yeah, we have nothing. Oddly enough, we don't have. Our battle reports don't sit in the queue for a long time. Usually if you see something, not always, if you see something, it was filmed within a week or two. Sometimes certain content can sit there longer, like Fantasy, we can queue it up because it's never going to get invalidated or updated. So yeah, we have nothing new dice-wise. Though Josh's white beard on a red die looks Christmassy to me, like Santa dice.
Yeah.
And Luca needs a die.
Yeah, I can't think.
What's your color, Luca?
My color?
Yeah.
I do like blue.
Of course, already got the blue. I got green. Josh got red.
Has to be.
You gotta be yellow.
It has to be a solid color with white pips.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Maybe black pips. I think you gotta be yellow.
I do red and black probably. Red and black's kind of cool.
But red and black are both taken. Okay. So Luca needs a design. So if anyone wants to send in a design,
I'm not gonna use yellow dice.
Okay, and a color choice. He doesn't want to use yellow dice. Send me some pictures at steve@miniwargaming.com for an ideal Luca die. I'm thinking something with the cats with laser eyes.
Cats with laser eyes
would be a perfect Luca die.
See, I like Cullen's idea. It's just the artillery dice. Yeah,
yes.
The misfire.
When we do Cullen's dice, it's just going to be a misfire.
I think it's just a solid idea.
On the 6. Because Cullen is the misfire man. The right one?
Misfire any game he plays.
Oh, I think I skipped. Okay. Oh, same guy. That's why I got misplaced. Same guy, so a different question. Some background before I get to the question. I've been away from the hobby for several months and haven't played a game since 7th edition because I'm on assignment and work in a foreign country. My question is for you. How do you feel about 8th edition transfers to battle reports compared to 7th edition? I find myself enjoying 8th edition battle reports less than I did 7th edition. But bat reps... Oh, 7th edition bat reps. But I wonder if this is because I don't have experience playing in 8th, possibly. That I did in 7th, and because 8th edition is more fun to play, maybe less interesting for battle reports format. I haven't heard anybody else say that, battle report wise. I think, and I'm by no means an expert in psychology, but I think a lot of it is we don't like, we like change, but we don't like change. 8th edition is a far away a better game, but in some ways I miss 7th, and I was getting done with 7th with all the nonsense with the formations. But no, 8th is better. 8th is a lot more fun. You get to the action faster. I think it makes for better battle reports because you get to the action faster. I don't know. I think I'm right. But again, that's from a point of view. That's my preference in video. Some people might very much prefer the 7th edition style. Also, there are people out there who I'm positive prefer how MiniWarGaming used to do it, where a battle report was broken up into multiple 10-minute sessions that were released once a week over months. That's how look, just give you the weirdest face. Yeah, that's how they used to do it. You get a 10-minute video, and then the next week you get the next 10 minutes. And then they were recap. They're styles for everybody. Not everyone will like our current style. It looks like more people do. But yeah, we'll see. Things will evolve. Things will always evolve. Flip Mode SH. Hello, Steve. Some difference in community between those who want a codex review and those who want you to tell them which page number will contain when. Could you do a half-hour quick review, then get in person and get the person in the office with the most boring voice to read out every point cost relative to the index for an hour, kind of like shipping forecast for the football pools or Canadian equivalent. MiniWarGaming story time reviews exclusive to Vault. No disrespect for those who want the in-depth reviews. Nice of them to take the time. I think this is in response to the last Astra Militarum review, where I said at one point, I'm not going to sit here and read off everything because it would take too long. When I said that, I thought that people preferred the shorter video, and that's because I was using my own bias. I personally don't want to sit through an hour of a video, only because I don't have the time. If I'm sitting painting, I'm usually painting at the desk and I'm talking with somebody else about things, so we don't tend to watch videos in that regard. If I'm painting at home, I watch videos, but I don't get to paint at home as much as I would like to. That's when I would watch a longer video or listen to a longer video. So my mindset was people would rather have a shorter, compact video, and I try to give them as much information, much of the relevant and important information as I possibly could. But there was many commenters who thought I should have went in depth with all the stratagems, even the ones that were kind of cut and paste from other books, ones we kind of already expected. And I understand that. I very much understand that. Probably will go that road again, make sure I get everything done. But I understand your point of view. We're wanting the shorter ones. I myself am that person. And I don't know what the majority is. I know people will respond to this or the next video a lot, but you can't always go by the comments. We try to go by the comments, but it's hard because if 10,000 people like it, they don't say anything. And if 5 people dislike it, I'll just use 5 negative comments. It's hard. But you may be right, and we may be wrong. Mr. Pancakes. Steve, you think your content is awesome. Keep it up. Thank you. A couple of questions. What is the aspect of fantasy that you miss the most, excluding lore fluff, and why? Lore fluff is a big deal. I like the chess match of the game, where it's less of. There are some games out there where 2 people of equal skill will play each other, and you'll get the same outcome. Like it's random who wins. And there's some games out there where you have somebody who's considerably more skilled in the game against somebody else, and this person can win because of dice, which is good for a lot of games. Fantasy, dice are involved, but if you are more skilled in the game, you tend to win more games. You had to make tighter movements and try to bait your opponent, set traps. Again, and dice throw everything off. Nothing is perfect. I just like fantasies. It felt more of a. It was definitely a harder game than most people realize. Most people did not understand how to play fantasy. And to reply, Lucas in the room can back me up here. Every week on Fantasy 8th Edition, we'd get numerous comments correcting things in the battle reports. And I respond to them, explain to them why they were incorrect about what they were trying to correct. They were mostly thinking of other editions because the rule book was so convoluted. The errata and FAQ for the rule book was as big as the rule book. It was a very, very tough game to learn proper. It came to the point where I just stopped replying to people when they were trying to correct because they felt they were the game was It was it's a hard game to learn, and I missed that. I missed the fact that it was hard, and you had to really learn how to play the movement phase.
Give me the Balthazar Gold.
Balthazar Gold. I'll try not to scratch the mic as I do this. All the paints are in my desk drawer at the moment. Luca was sitting here painting. I kicked him off to do the sit and talk. Oh, Guyana Gold?
It's okay. You know what? I can go grab one from the back.
Guyana?
It's a really empty one.
Rune Lord? Balthazar!
Nice. Okay. Sure.
Hope that the mic scratches. Also, do you think the lore of AOS will eventually catch up to the same place that Warhammer Fantasy has been before the destruction? If so, how long do you think it'll take? Yes, I'll tell you right now. Lucas is saying no. I'll tell you right now.
Fantasy's got 30 years.
That's it. That's the thing. You should see the original.
It was bad.
The original fantasy lore. It needed a good 15 years of evolution. Yeah, no, the lore of AOS it'll evolve. That's all I gotta say. How old are you? Are you like 15? Are you like 35? Hopefully you're still interested in the game when the lore gets up to the level. That's why I miss fantasy. It was just 30 years of. It was my childhood that they burned and destroyed. They burned the old world, Luca.
I know they did, buddy.
So sad. But we have Total War to play. 99 Arcturus. Steve, can you please start playing 6th edition fantasy? Wait, can you please start playing 6th edition fantasy in addition to playing 8th edition and not instead of? No, I can't, and I'll explain why in a moment. 8th is the only edition I know, and watching some of the older editions, it is great, especially how they did magic. Whatever you do, the more fancy, the better. Thank you. Sorry, I'm having trouble reading. So yeah, we can't do both. I can't do 6th edition and 8th edition. It is already hard enough playing multiple systems on the regular and try not to make mistakes between one system or another. If we start playing 6th edition and 8th edition at the same time, we're gonna mess up both games. We're gonna use rules on both. You'd be surprised how much of the game is autopilot when you're recording it. You just know how things work. You've done it 1,000 times, and that's why I make mistakes too, because I've done it 1,000 times. I brain fart. But yeah, no, mixing two systems, mixing 2 editions at once is not a great idea. But we will get back to 8th. We're not going to do 6th forever. We're just doing it for a bit of fun. Chosen One. How much questions we got left? You know what? I can do one more. Chosen One, Steve. First, have you ever played or heard of Avernum Games from Spiderweb Software, top down? Isometric RPG in the vein of Baldur's Gate and other classics. Good stuff. I recommend them. No, I have not. Did you get one of the Super Nintendo classics? No, I did not. Tons of good games on there, but sadly I have not managed to hunt one down. Might not ever, but now I'm hoping Nintendo makes more of them. I will never get one because then I will never, ever get anything painted again. Any plans for your Halloween costume? No. When you're like 6'5" and 350 pounds, it's not easy to find a costume.
You gotta make your own, buddy.
You gotta make your own, and I'm getting too old. I can't do it anymore. It's so much work. I just want the candy. As a fellow gentleman of impressive size, I can appreciate the difficulty of finding one in the store. Yeah, you can. Usually I have to make my own. I'm going as a wastelander this year. I've spent the last few weeks cobbling together ramshackle armor for fun for glory and bacon. A Chosen One. Where's my bacon? Chosen One. I want some bacon. Wait, were you the one with the bacon gum? Because if you were, where's my bacon gum? There's bacon gum out there. You know that? The Americans have bacon gum.
I don't doubt it.
We don't have any of that here. Okay, well that is it this week for the Sit and Talk. I'm going to go in the vault right now and finish up the questions. Not a whole lot more, but I'll probably get another 15 minutes out of it. And if you're not already a vault member, you click the link below, get yourself a 7-day free trial to watch that video and everything else we do. Remember, post questions on this video on MiniWarGaming's website for Matthew for next week. Thanks for watching, guys, and happy wargaming.